Slope is the measure of steepness. The measure of steepness of a line as defined by a ratio of rise over rise, which should be our change in y values, and over x, over run, which is our x values. Okay, maybe we should scoot this over a little bit. There you go. There you go. That's better. All right. Go ahead and pause if you need to, and we'll move on. Okay, so this one's a little confusing. Even I'm not sure exactly what they wanted us to write here. So I'm going to do my best. I'm actually going to change a couple things. Any linear function can be written as an expression y equals mx plus b. Actually, I'm going to change these colors. M, I always do in green, or slope in green, x, and then plus b. Okay. M gives you either your rate or the slope. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what else they want us to write here, but I do know that the M tells us how to move from one point to another. Okay. And what, I'm not sure, so I just crossed it out. That's confusing. Okay. The B tells us where the point crosses the y-axis. That's why it's called your y-intercept. Okay. And to find the slope, you need to find the ratio. Okay. The ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. Again, I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you need to, just pause it, fill out to the best of your ability. And when you're ready, go ahead and resume it. Okay. Our vertical change can be defined as, or be written as, delta y over delta x. We've done this before. Also known as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Your y-intercept is your b value, or 0 comma b, or 0 comma y. Okay, I put b for both, but this can be this is usually, that is your y value, that's your x. Okay, but the y-intercept is labeled by the variable b. And the equation again is the same equation we wrote earlier, mx plus b. Okay, and again, this is your slope. Okay, and this one is your y-intercept. Okay. All right, so it says on the next page, use the given data in each question to find the equation of the linear function relating y and x. So basically what they want you to do is you're going to write the equation for each one of these. Okay, find the slope, the equation, and the y-intercept. Okay, I'm going to do the first one with you guys, and if you'd like to, you can just skip ahead and go, and I know you should know how to do this, but if you're not sure, you can follow along. I'm going to do question number 2. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off 2 points. I'm going to mark off that point. I'm going to call that 0, -1. And I'm going to mark off that point over there, 4, 1. Okay, any 2 points that are easy to identify are fine. You don't need to do anything crazy fancy. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my y-intercept because that one is the one that's very apparent. Okay, y-intercept, which is -1. Okay, really easy to find. Your slope is your change in y over change in x. So here's my y change. Okay, I have to go up 1, 2, so plus 2, And then my x change is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 over 4. My slope is 2 over 4. My slope is 2 over 4. Now, that can be reduced or simplified into 1/2. Oops. 1/2. 1 over 2. Okay. Now, into your equation. Okay. Again, I'm going to write this equation out so you can see what it looks like. Y equals mx plus b. So this m value over here should be replaced with this number, and this b value should be replaced with this number. Okay, so our equation should be y equals 1/2 x. I didn't replace that x with anything. Minus 1. Okay, I know it says plus, but plus -1 is the same thing as minus 1. Okay, and there's my slope. Okay, you should be able to do the rest on your own. Check with your neighbors, and if you need help, again, unpause the video. You should see what I have. Okay, but this is the time we should pause the video, spend about 5, maybe 10 minutes working on these. Shouldn't, maybe less than 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So you've already paused the video, you've tried it on your own, and you're just checking. That's 0, 0. That's my y-intercept, 0. And I'll pick this point over here. I'll call this 2, 3. And that means I have to go up 1, 2, 3. And then I have to run 1, 2. Plus 3 plus 2. 3 over 2. Okay. My equation will be y equals 3 over 2x plus 0, which I don't need to write. Okay. The next one, I'll do the same thing. This one is 0, 1. That's my y-intercept, 1. And I'll pick another point that crosses the line. That looks good. 3, -1. So to get there, my rise, I have to go down 1, 2 spaces. Slope is -2 over my run, which is 1, 2, 3. 2 over 3. That's my slope. Okay. So my equation should be y equals my slope -2 over 3 variable x and a y-intercept of +1. Okay. Do the same thing on this side as well. This is a 0, -1. That's my y-intercept at -1. I'll find another point here. I'm gonna go pick a point over here. That's gonna be -2, 2. To get from 1 to the next, I have to go down 1, 2, 3. So my slope is -3 over our run value, which is 1, 2, +2. So our equation should be y equals -3 over 2 x, and then my b value, which should be -1. Okay. That is from a graph, and that's something you should be very, very comfortable with. So, good. All right. So from a table, it's a little bit different. Not too much different. Again, what we need to do is we need to identify a pattern. Find the slope, which is our pattern. Identify your b or your y-intercept. Okay. And then we're gonna write our equation. Okay. So, steps to writing an equation. First thing we need to do is find the slope. Find the slope. Okay, use your slope equation. M equals change in y, y2 y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, and that finds your slope. Okay, delta y over delta x. Step 2. Okay, step 2. Okay, step 2, we need to find or identify the y-intercept. Okay, that is 0 comma something. 0 comma, I'm gonna put b here. 0 comma b. Okay, this is your y-intercept right here when x is equal to 0 and y is your y-intercept. That's just your b value, y-intercept. Good. So lastly, write your equation. Okay, lastly, you should write your equation. Write equation with m and b substituted in. Okay. All right. So they ask us if it is for number 1, is it a linear function? That's what they want us to first. Then the unit rate. The unit rate is asking us if it is what is the slope. Okay, that's what it's asking. Okay, but a linear function is I think they're really just looking to know if it's a line. Okay, is it a line? Is it a line? Okay, so we're going to identify that first. So for question 1a, and we got to write the equation. So I'm guessing they are, since we're writing the equation. So let's identify the slope. Y equals, and I'm going to pick 2 numbers. I'm going to pick 2 easy numbers. I'm going to pick these 2. Okay, and I'm going to label these as y2 and y1 because they're in the y row, and I'm going to label these as x2 and x1 because they're in the x row. So here are my y2s and y1s, 5 minus 3, and then for my x's, 1 minus 0. Keep it really simple. I picked whole numbers that weren't negative if I could avoid them. We ended up with 2 over 1, which is just 2. That's our m, that's our slope. And I labeled this one wrong. Okay, that's our slope. M is equal to 2. So this one, we have a slope of 2. Oops, is that 1 linear function? That's confusing. Let's just call this a slope of 2. We'll just write the equation here. All right, now we need to identify the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is right here. X is equal to 0, therefore my y-intercept is equal to 3. Y-intercept equals 3. So here's our equation. Y equals 2x and then plus 3. Again, you should be pausing this and giving it a try on your own if you are comfortable with this idea. Okay. All right. We'll do it again. Pause it if you're okay doing it without me. And we'll see what we get. All right. You've unpaused. You've given it a try. Here's your slope. Again, I'm going to pick 2 sets of numbers. I'm going to pick these 2 just because they don't look too difficult. So there we go. Y2, Y1. 4 minus 2. This one, x2 and x1 over 10 minus 6. We end up with a y value of 2 over 4, which reduces to 1/2. That is our slope. Okay. Now, the hard part about this next section is trying to figure out what the 0 is because I need my x to be 0. I need to find 0 over here. The good thing is it's in the middle. It's in between these 2 points. So that's my 0. So this one should be in between as well. halfway between -2 and 0 is -1. So now we have a y-intercept of -1. Here's our equation. Y equals 1/2 x, 1/2 x, and then our y-intercept of -1. Okay. Okay, for question number 3, it says, does the line represent the table have a slope that is greater or less than the equations found in part 1a or 1b? Well, this one's just asking us to find the slope. So let's do the slope again. M is equal to, and let's pick two numbers. I don't see anything that's particularly easy. Maybe just these two, because there's only one negative in that group. So I'm going to call this y2 and y1. -2 minus 1. And I'm going to call this x2 and x1. 1 minus 0. I have to go in the same order. And I end up with a slope of -3 over 1, -3. So this slope is smaller, greater than or less than. So this slope is less than 1a and 1b. Okay, because that's a negative. And the other ones were 1/2 and 2, but this one's negative. Negative is always less than both of those values. Okay, so we did all this stuff. We just kind of squeezed it up in here because the way that this is formatted is a little confusing. Okay, you should be able to fill this out on your own and fill out the tables on your own. The other part that we need to do, well, so pause it. I know this is only 3 equations. It shouldn't take you very long. 5-10 minutes at the most. Pause it, play it when you're ready. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. I'm not gonna write this out. I might put in the live link later, but I'm not gonna write it out in the video. This is the one where you need 2 points. This one takes a little bit more work. You need to find the slope and then use your point slope formula. Okay. So let's see. Here's our point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay. Now, this y1 can be either one of the y's. It doesn't really matter. This x1 can be either one of the x's. It doesn't matter. But they have to come from the same group. I can't pick an x here and then a y here. They have to be from the same group. That's the only requirement. My slope equation for my m I already know. So my slope should be m is equal to y2 minus y1. I'm just going to subtract this way. And I'm going to subtract this way. So my x values is -1 minus 4. And then my numbers on top is 7 minus 2. So I end up with 5 over -5. Which means I have a slope of -1. That's my m value. My slope is -1. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is find your slope. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay. Right, so how to calculate the slope given 2 points using the slope formula. We just did that. So I'm just gonna cut this and move it in there. Okay, so we'll do that. There we go. Okay, if you want to leave it there, that's fine. You don't have to rewrite it. Okay, now using the slope formula, now I think we need to use our point slope formula in order to figure this out. Well, no, I think it's just asking for slope. Just for slope. Using the slope formula, and then using the slope formula again. I guess this one is a description, but we'll do the graphing one. We'll pick those 2 points, 4, 2, and -1, 7. Okay, so 4, 2, and -1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And our points were 4, 2, 4, 2, and negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 1, 7. Negative 1,
Sophia Angelo, please come to
7.
N1. You're going home. Sophia Angelo.
Okay, so those are my 2 points. Sorry for the interruption. And then this is the line that makes this possible. And we're just gonna find our change in y over change in x. So finding the slope, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 5, and we have a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our slope is negative 5 over positive 5, again negative 1, just like we did earlier. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to leave it as that, and then we're going to skip 2 and 3. Kevin said a line with the equation y equals 2x passes through some points 0, 0, and 1, 2. He also said that the line with the equation y equals negative 3x passes through 0, 0, and 1, negative 3. In general, the lines with the equations pass through. Is he correct? Well, I would probably just graph it just to check. I believe he's correct. Okay, and again, this one is only asking about a positive point, so I don't even really need that whole line like that. I could just graph it like this, and call this 0, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to make this as accurate as possible. 1, 2, and then a slope of y equals 2x means up 1, 2, and then plus 1. That's the slope. And yeah, that looks like it's correct. That's our line. Okay, and I would do the same thing here. But this one is 1 and negative 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, negative 3. This is 0, 0. Okay, and let's check from one to the next. 1, 2, 3, negative 3, and a slope of plus 1. Yep, seems to work. Okay. What is the slope of a horizontal line or a vertical line? Okay. Well, these are interesting. We've covered this actually already. Okay. So if I have a horizontal line, it looks like this. Okay. This has a rise from this point to this point. It goes up no points. So this one has a slope of 0 change in my y and any number here. So this one could be any number. I'm just going to pick a number for now and call it 3. 0 divided by 3, 0 divided by 10, 0 divided by anything means I have a slope of 0. Horizontal lines have a 0 slope. Okay, vertical lines are very, very similar, but they're more confusing usually. Here is our line that's graphed. Okay, and the amount of change is infinite or any amount. Okay, so our slope here, m, and our slope can be anything. So I'm just going to pick a number, just like I did before. I'll call this 5, but our x change doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go this way. It doesn't go that way. We don't change it in the x value. 5 divided by 0 is not possible. So what we call this is undefined. Okay, it's not possible. So vertical lines are undefined. Okay, we'll stop there. And I'll let you get started on your homework. I think we already covered that earlier. Your homework is page 100 and 102. Okay. Please be good to the sub. I want a good report. Thank you. Again, you can listen to this on your own or